Hi, everybody. I just wanted to let you guys know that this is a great resource for testing your knowledge of decimals, Unit 6 review. Kids, here are two links on the top, one that we have not used before, but one we have used in class before to talk about decimals. Parents, I want you guys to challenge your students to work this entire 10-question review out first. Here's some questions on the back, and then on the back over here. And then, kids, I want you guys to be able to fill this out on your own. How have you been through this through this unit? And you can definitely include how you've been during this time out. And so what I want you guys to notice is these links up top. We're going to go ahead and explore them together first. Zoomable number line right here. It's really cool. I was playing with it a little bit earlier. You can reset it like that. If you want to know what's in between, we'll say 6 and 7. Click right here and you can zoom in to see, oh snap, what do we have here? Between 6 and 7, we have 6.1, 2, 3, all the way to 6.97. These are tenths. If we notice 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 jumps between 6 and 7 gives us tenths. And if you wanted to move in even further, we'll say between 6.5 and 6.6, we see hundredths. We see in between 6.5 and 6.6, we have a lot of numbers here. These are in their hundredths form. So we understand that 6.5 is equal to 6.50. 6.6 is equal to 6.60 as well. 1/10 equals 10 hundredths. Keep that in mind. So if we skip counting, we see 6.50, 6.51, and so on, all the way to 6.60, or 6 and 60 hundredths. On this resource, you can also scroll down here, and it gives you little questions and all sorts of little tests that you can do for yourself, trying to find these really abstract numbers. Kids, I think you'll have a lot of fun with this. And here's some more great activities down at the bottom. I really encourage you guys to check this resource out. Students, we've already practiced decimal squares at school, but this is a great activity that can help you with this test as well. I really don't mind if you use these. In fact, I'd rather you use these to show your work. You can show things that are greater than, less than, or perhaps equal to. And then, of course, if you really want to show off, you can press thousands and show how many of these little boxes are lit up from one to another. And we know how to use these. Okay, so kids, this is kind of an honor system here, okay? I want you guys to do this entire 10-question practice test without my help first, okay? Of course, you can have somebody read it out loud to you, but I want you guys to go ahead and pause this video if you have not done this test first on your own. Okay. Thank you for unpausing. I'm going to assume that you've gone ahead and done it already. So here is us going over the answers together as if we would in class, okay? All right, so which number is equal to the shaded part of the figure? What you want to do is you look for the shaded part. So out of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pieces, we see that 1, 2, 3 are shaded in. As a fraction, we know that that is 3 over 10. But I don't see 3/10 written as a fraction here. I see 3/10 as a, that is in the tenths place. So 3/10 as a fraction is equal to 0.3 as a decimal. 3/10 is what you would say for both. 3/10. So good job if you've got that correct. Now down here, which statement is true? Is it 9 hundredths or 0.09 is equal to 0.9 or 9/10? Because 9 equals 9. 6 6/10 is less than 53 hundredths because 6 is less than 53. Or 78 hundredths is less than 8/10 because 7/10 is less than 8/10. Or 4 hundredths is equal to 40 hundredths because both decimals have have 2 places after the decimal point. we're going to go with C. And I love this because 7/10 is less than 8/10. When you're comparing, that's all you have to do is look at that spot in your decimals place. After your ones place, you have the decimal. After your decimal, you have the tenths. You see 8/10 is greater than 7/10. Therefore, this number is larger. I'm sorry, well, according to the question, 78/100 is less. So, of course, that's the lesser amount. We understand. Anna drinks 57/100 liters of juice. Paige drinks 6/10 liters of juice. Who drank more? Based on that same logic that you used above, if you were to write it out again, 57/100, 6/10, you understand by now that we can see a place value chart in our mind. This is the ones place, decimal, tenths, and hundredths. We see here, this is the greater amount. Therefore, it had to be Paige who drank the greater amount. Which number sentence is true? Is it 6/10 equals to 60/100? Let's see. If I write this out, 0.6, 0.60. I want you guys to think to yourself, when we're comparing, we always start in the ones place. We see that's different. Decimal, tenths place, same digit. And here we would have a 0 because 6/10 is equal to 60/100. So therefore, it has to be A. If we look down the list, we see that, oh, and here in the ones place, here, this ones place right here has a 6. Therefore, it is greater than this. And C, we're talking about 6/10 versus 6/100. 6 dimes is more than 6 pennies, so that cannot be equal. And here, not just in the ones place, but in the tens place, not tenths, 2 spaces to the left of the decimal, we have a 6. $60 is way more than 6 dimes. So we understand that it has to be A for number 4. Down here, number 5, Amber walks 48/100 of a kilometer from her house to the bus stop, while Ben walks 42/100 of a kilometer from his house to the same bus stop. Which of the following statements is true? Is it that they both live the same distance away? Amber walks 4 times the distance that Ben walks, since 8 is 4 times as many as 2, referring to their hundredths place. Amber lives the farthest from the bus stop, or Ben lives the farthest from the bus stop. If we line it up here, might label this one Amber, Ben. We've got 0.48 for Amber, and when we line up Ben's directly underneath, we see that one is greater than the other. Amber lives the farthest away from the bus stop. Now, for page 52, starting on the back here for number 6, Samantha is comparing 2 models of numbers shown below. So if one large shaded square is equal to one whole, which number sentence correctly compares model A to B? So, looking first, we see that in all of our ones places, we have a 1. I'm going to pause the video and let you talk to somebody around you. If all of your ones places have the same digit, what place value do you have to look at next? All right. The answer to that was your tenths place. I hope you said that. So when we're looking through, we see that this is 1 whole and 1/10, 2/10, and 9/100. So this model here shows 1.29, 1 whole and 29/100. Here we have 1 whole and let's see, 1/10, 2/10, 3/10, 4/10, 5/10, 6/10, 7/10, 1, 2, 3/100. So 1/73. Let me write that one a little bit closer to make it easier to see. 1/73. So right there, we have our 2 values. So if any of these are not shown between here, we know that those are not going to be correct. We know it cannot be 71/100 or 27 hundredths. So that is marked off. We see here, oh, both of these values are shown, but they're not the same. I'm sorry, but they're not, this is not an equal expression because 29 hundredths is not going to be greater than 73 hundredths. We see the same for C, that those are definitely not equal values. And so now we see D, both of our values match up, and that is a correct statement. Looking at your tenths place can help you identify that. Down to number 7. The table below shows the cost of the same TV package at 4 different cable service providers. So we have all of these 4. And so down here, the question says, Deanna would like to select the TV package that costs the least amount of money. Which TV company should she select? Luckily, these are already lined up for you. If this is our decimal place, we know that this is our ones. We know that this is our ones, tenths, and hundredths, okay? This is our ones, tenths, and hundredths. To the right of that decimal, we have our tenths. Oh my gosh. Our ones, tens, and hundreds. To the right of the decimal, we have our tenths and hundredths. Okay, so here we see that this is the highest amount. Why? Because after I've looked at my hundreds place, I looked at my tens. 7 is greater than the rest. So 170 is the most expensive package. So it cannot be Randolph TV. So we might mark that one off. Downtime TV, $124.17. After looking at all the other packages available, in the tens place we have a 2 versus 2 4s. So Carolina and City Line TV are therefore more expensive than Downtime TV. So even though Carolina TV sounds great, Downtime TV is going to be what we want because that is the lowest value. Here we have, how is 4/10 written as a decimal? If we think back to what we did before, 4/10 is equal to 0.4. So without even thinking about it, ones place, decimal, tenths place. Which answer do I see matches the closest? Right here at B. For number 9, on the news, the meteorologist said that there is a chance to get 97 hundredths inches of snow during the night. Which is the equivalent fraction? Or excuse me, what is the equivalent fraction? If we zoom in, number 1 right here and number 10 right here are number D right here are interesting. A and D both say that that you can have a decimal in your fraction. But all the kids that have been through 4th grade so far can tell you that that is not something that can happen. So right off the bat, you understand that no decimal can be in your numerator or denominator in a fraction. You mark those right off. And now if we're looking for 97 hundredths, I want to put 97 hundredths on my paper. Let's see under this ones, tenths, and hundredths place. I see that the 7 is in my hundredths, so this must be 97, and I pronounce the last place value column. This is 97 hundredths written as a fraction. Decimal to fraction. And now for number 10, which 2 fractions are equivalent to 0.8? We have 8/10 and 8/100. Those cannot be equivalent to each other, therefore they both can't be equivalent to that. Looking at B, 80/10 and 8/100. We understand that 80 is higher than 10, so that's an improper fraction, greater than 1, which we see here this number is not greater than 1. Here we have 8/10 and 80/100. Remember, kids, before we left, we knew that our dotted 0 could go up here and on bottom. But remember, they can only go where they match. So, for instance, 8, if I had 8/100, I cannot just put a dotted 0 right here. I would have to do the same on the bottom. So that would not be the case. When you put a dotted 0, it has to match top and bottom. So we see C must be correct because D, 80/10, just like we said before, is greater than 1, which this decimal is not. So down here at the bottom, you might, this is honestly for you, but I would love for you to take a picture and send it to me if you can. I'm really proud of you guys. I know that this is not an easy time for students, but hey, keep pounding and doing your best, and I'm really proud of you guys. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions on how to use decimal squares or the zoomable number line. Thank you so much.